Hello, lug nuts. Welcome to another beautiful day at Roberts Classic Car. Today we're in the shop and we are going to try to fix a mistake, a screw up, F up, whatever you want to call it. We're going to try to fix that today. So a little bit of backstory. If you've been watching the channel, you saw all the work that we did on Project Meekum, the 83 K5 Blazer. Now, I will tell you that the 83 K5 Blazer Project Meekum did not sell, spoiler alert, at Meekum. So if you're interested in purchasing the 83 K5 Blazer Project Meekum, you can reach out to me at robertsclassiccar@gmail.com and we can discuss it. Serious buyers only. I'm not giving the thing away. So, but that brings us to today's video, which is while we were working on painting and touching up the paint under the hood on the Blazer, we used a rattle can, some hood liner and stuff like that, and we were shaking the can, and there was some paint residue on the nozzle of the paint can. And we did it right next to the 71 Chevelle. And as a result, we got some paint spots. Slung onto the side of the Chevelle. So we got to fix that because it doesn't look great. Now this is a satin finish, so the paint texture on it's a little bit different. I did manage to get it off of the glass, and I tried a little bit of acetone to try to get it off there, but it ended up taking off some of the paint, some of the satin paint. So we're going to try a couple things today, starting with a cutting compound to see if I can compound it out and get just the surface paint sprinkles off. If not, we are going to have to come back in and maybe wet sand it a little bit to get that off of there and retouch up the paint. Good news is I do have a small amount of touch-up paint for this car. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of a close-up of what we're dealing with here today. Yeah, as you can see, we had a little bit of a mishap with the black rattle can when we were working on the Blazer. We got us a few spots spattered onto the car. And we did try to get it off with some acetone, and that didn't exactly work the way we planned. So, we'll see. We'll see if we can get this out without having to do a bunch of repaint. All right, so the first thing we're going to try is we're going to try to use our compounding pad and a little bit of compound and see if we can get this to come out. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. That's why this is an experiment. So let's get this spread out a little bit on here, and let's see what happens. Well, bad news. That did absolutely nothing. On to the next try. All right, well, compound didn't work. So the next step is we're going to try our 2000 grit wet sanding pad and see if we can get this thing back. Obviously, our ultimate final end game is to blend in this panel with paint. I'd prefer to not have to go that route, but we'll see what happens. So let's get some of this wet. We're going to try on one spot right here. Oh, well, that started to work. But I don't think it's going to be heavy enough to get through. I don't think that 2000 is going to be heavy enough to get through that. So we may have to go to, because it started getting the edges. So that's working in the right direction. So let me see if I can get something that's a little bit of a coarser grit without damaging anything. And we may have to do this in multiple steps. All right, we're going to go down to our 1000 grit first. And we've wrapped it around our 2000 grit pad. We are wet sanding so that we try to not get through the finish. Let's see if 1000 will bring it off. Oh, that may be working. Oh, we're getting through the paint. Bad news, folks. We are getting through the paint. Well, I think that might seal the deal right there. I believe that seals the deal, folks. Looks like we are going to have to touch up this panel. Well, that's no good. So I guess we'll go ahead and finish sanding, get it smooth so we don't have any lumps in it, and then we'll just set up to repaint. Let's finish doing that. All right, I guess we're going to have to break out the touch-up paint. Here we go. All right, lug nuts. So as I've said before, paint work is prep work. So we've gone through, we have sanded it down, we've gotten it through. Now obviously whoever painted this before us did not put this on very thick. We have taped off areas, and we're not going to spray right up to the paint line, to the tape line. We are only going to spray in a area that is, that needs the paint, and feather it out from there. We're not going to put heavy coats on. We're not going to do any of that because we want this to match as best as possible. So, as I've stated before, we probably need to, oh my goodness. That's the prep spray taking this paint off. So, we're just going to have to get it close enough for government work. And here we go. Obviously, we're going to wear our respirator. All right, let's let that dry. See what she looks like. All right, well, we've gone over it once. We're going to go over it again with a little bit of a wider fan pattern and see if we can't smooth it out some. Worst comes to worst, we can wet sand to clean everything up. So here we go. These small areas don't take much, but I think that might smooth us out. All right, let's start pulling some tape off and see what we're left with. All right, we got us a little bit of a line. All right, so overall, it doesn't look terrible. We are going to have to come back. We do have a little bit of a line, and we are going to need to come back and hit this edge lightly with the wet sand, and then we'll come back and we'll polish everything, and it should blend in just fine. So, we will clean up our gun and see where we go. All right, lug nuts, there it is. It is all better now. No more black paint. Now the rest of the car is still dirty. It needs to be washed, and I'm going to polish the whole thing at some point to even out the sheen. But unless you are specifically looking for it, you will never know where I touched it up. I think it came out really good. All right, lug nuts. Well, we're at that point in time where we got to be patient. We got to let the rest of this paint cure up and then see what we can do to blend it in. I don't know how well it's going to work. You know, my default backup plan for this whole car is to clear the whole thing, come back with a clear coat, because I'm really not a big fan of the satin finish. You know, I'd like to put the SS stripes on it and clear coat it if I'm going to do that, but we'll see how this comes out. This may force us into that move. The car is up for sale, so if I can get somebody to buy it now, as is, we'll be all right. And if not, then we will take it one step at a time. So with that being said, lug nuts, we're going to end this video, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, i.e. don't mess up the paint on cars with a rattle can shaking and next to it and spattering black paint all over it. That's never a good thing. So, guys, I'm going to sign off. Always remember that you guys are awesome, and I'm glad you're following. Like and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell, and you know that way you'll be notified when we get a new video. We got a bunch of shorts out. We try to put fresh content out once a week, and hopefully you enjoy it. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Lug nuts, always make sure that you keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up.